In the offices with Steve and Fletchdal to talk about the betting moves. Steve, hello.
Yeah, hello, Dale.
An interesting week. I suppose we're almost 7 days back, but you wanted to talk about Warrnambool and some big goes there, particularly on Thursday of last week for the carnival.
Thursday was the biggest day, yeah, and I think that was almost metropolitan style goes.
Really?
A lot of them, yeah. We found three that. Well, we'll start with Warrnambool. Why not? Well, Wednesday the Wangoon, the Girl Guide was a big go, 420 into 360.
Yep.
That was like serious money there. But Thursday, a couple of Darren Weir runners, Shiny Lass in the fourth.
Yes.
550 into 390 and hard to get the 390. Then the one that won in the sixth, Voodoo Lad, 290 to 250. But the biggest go was probably Thubian in the Grand Annual.
Hard to believe, isn't it?
390 into 280.
If you had said 3 years ago when Thubian was poking around Sydney, running around in the 2,000 metres, has been the best back runner on Warrnambool Cup Day over the hurdles.
Over 5.5 kilometres.
That would be hundreds.
I mean, I know most professionals just don't even look at hurdles or steeples.
Do you?
Well, of course I do. I'm not well. But most normal people don't. But we were just talking about this earlier off camera. Why can't we bet in the run on Betfair?
I didn't even realise this existed because I don't take much notice of it. But
it's some other stupid law by people who don't understand racing again.
For those who don't know, that you can bet obviously in the run on Betfair. I think because that's an anomaly because racing's not regarded as not a sport or something.
That's silly enough.
But that's silly.
You can't bet on steeplechasers, but you can bet live in the run on Aintree from an Australian IP address. So, can anyone explain that?
No. I don't think so. Well, if you can explain it, please let us know because we'd like to know.
Let us know, yeah. So
but it doesn't make
a great race to bet in the run.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
well, if you're talking about if that is the best back runner almost of the week anywhere, then in a turnover game, the turnover is going to be there during the run.
You've got nearly 10 minutes to turn more over in the run. Why not? And you're allowed to bet in. So it can't be because it's a hurdle because you're allowed to bet on hurdles overseas from a Sydney IP address or an Australian IP address. If it's running in Aintree, so it just makes no sense, as usual.
Well, exactly. When people are running the game that don't actually understand wagering, we haven't got much chance of doing that. Just before we move off to Country Carnival, Steve, obviously Warrnambool is becoming almost bigger and bigger every year. We had Wagga at the same time in New South Wales, Grafton not too far away. It's, from a betting point of view, definitely not as strong as they used to be when the ring was filled with everybody.
They are pretty. I was slack this year, I didn't see anyone there, but I think the ring's like... They're huge there. Oh yeah. And you had a good money. Yep. And the other good carnival during the year is Gundagai.
Yeah. Snake Alley Cup.
Snake Alley Cup. Huge ring. Yeah. Good money. So they're great. So they're probably, if I was organised, that'd be the sort of carnival you should be. You can get on much more there than you can in Rose Hill on Saturday, for instance.
Really?
Oh, miles more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why weren't you organised?
Because I'm just not organised.
I've seen that. Yeah. All right, getting to Sydney on Saturday.
Yes.
Bit of decent betting going around for an off-season day. Started in the second race. What's got to say? A lot of horses blew a bit, and who was the back runner?
Sonic Swish was the one they wanted.
I want to talk about that because Mark mentioned on the show there was a lot of form coming out of that race that Handfast won, which I think a lot of people got down as a good race. Handfast itself last week at Hawkesbury, Santa Ana Lane 15 times since has been well backed. That horse has been well backed, and Shadana, which we'll talk about later, all well backed. And that race, which I think a lot of people have gravitated to, is a good form reference race. Money has equalled that. It's just looking hopeless.
No, that's right. Sonic Swish was $6 early fixed. They all took that. Opened 4.60 in the ring. They took that, and started $4 and hard to get at the end. So no, it was really well backed. But they got the money in the following race
with Royal Engineer in
$5 in the 440. Yeah, just very consistent. Didn't really. It kept firming. Didn't drift out. Didn't do a nasty drift at the end like sometimes they do. And when that happens, they run well, and it did.
We mentioned Shadana. This was a sort of a strange betting race in a way that both you had the three Waller runners in Shadana, Rodrigo, which they've come from Rodrigo first off.
Yep.
And then now it's Shadana's turn. And as Glenn mentioned on the show, box 9, the reserve got outbid Castellon.
Yeah, but there was nibbles on in Castellon. I paid big on the tote, so there wasn't too much money in the ring for it. But I think I might have paid $15 best tote. It was only 12 or 11 in the ring from memory.
Yeah, so $11 SP, so $12 available.
Yeah, so I think all the people sort of dribbled.
$15 on the tote.
Yeah, they dribbled money on the tote on it. It wasn't totally unfancy. But Rodrigo was definitely the one they wanted. $5 into 340. Had we saw what it did. But
Didn't really.
get anyone very excited at all.
No, it didn't. Speaking of which,
start wondering.
It was officially the biggest go in Sydney.
Biggest of the day.
Yeah.
340 into 250.
And never likely. I think it's bled or something too. But from the position in run, it's still
just there. It was the moment they jumped, it just kept on drifting, and I think it was $5 after 200 metres and didn't shorten.
Yeah, exactly. And that was it. Stablemate again, winning from the front. Hard fit horse with Brenton Abdullah up and getting towards the last, Steve Moa, a race that looked very open. The punters did seem like they worked it out, and it was $8 into 480 official flux.
It's a big go, and it's a real fluck. Yeah, hard to get the 480 again. Won accordingly. Yeah, so last race in Sydney would have been nasty for the corporates, I imagine.
What a shame.
Yeah.
What was nasty for the punters early it was in Melbourne with a lot of odds, a lot of short price favourites.
Yes.
Just not really participating.
No.
The first was Merriest.
Trick Balloon gave up.
Unplaced.
Yep.
It was a second bullet, $2.80 and well backed.
Yep, it was well back, 320 in, and Ribeye was totally unfancied. It's a real money horse. So
because it was back well the previous start.
Yeah, and I think when people saw there was no money for Ribeye, Click McDonald's horse, then they started looking to have a bet. So they come up with second bullet, but they did find good value. It was the only other firmer. So the punters did kind of get that race right.
A little bit, and we saw another short price one. I just want to remember. It was Fletchdal. Yeah, that was.
Oh yeah.
It just
wasn't that. Yeah, it was kind of fancy, but not overly.
And then Sapedo, which was
they tricked themselves here. The bookies pushed it down to 180. I think they would have regretted that with about a minute to go.
Yeah,
it was. It's ridiculous. It's $1.80.
Mm-hmm.
I think we sent out $1.45, and I think they were taking $1.52 at the end.
Yep.
And you're betting $1.80, like they're just they wrecked that race.
That's a fair percentage.
They must have chased bet. I don't know how because I don't know. Anyway, they bet $1.80 and they got hammered.
Good. Yeah. And you got plenty of it, I hope.
Yeah, we got the $1. We just bet on top fluck. Out wide though. Not after first score.
Not the real. Oh, so there are times the top fluck's all right, Stephen.
Sometimes. Just make sure it doesn't up at the track.
For the privileged few.
Yeah.
All right. Well, apart from that, though, we've got another big week of punting. The Queensland Carnival's heating up, and you got your $20 tips going everywhere, left, right, and centre.
Yeah, I'll probably send out some today.
Yes, being Tuesday.
Yes.
Being a Tuesday, being a Hawkesbury day.
Hawkesbury,
It's a strange day. We're normally here and just relax and put the feet up. We've got to get it done and up, and you can get it betting. So big week coming up. Of course, Sydney and Melbourne race by race service as per usual on a Saturday, and we won't be stopping for anything.
Perfect.
Good on you. Thank you, Steve Fletcher.